Hello, I'm Diane. Welcome to my channel Diane in Stitches, where I'll be chatting all about the comings and goings of my sewing life. Telling you what I've made, what I'm going to make, and any purchases I might make. And hopefully there'll be some hints and tips that you might pick up, because sometimes I do things a little bit differently to what the pattern instructs. So I do hope you'll find everything interesting. This week, I'll just tell you what I'm wearing first. So I've got my Grab a Cup of cardigan on again that I made finished last time. Just a ready to wear t-shirt underneath. It's just been cold, so it's nice and warm to sit, cozy and warm to sit in a nice snuggly cardigan. So this week, past week, I've been getting on with my Donny Shirt muslin, which I've now finished, and I have in fact cut out my silk, which has been a bit of a struggle because there was literally just enough with the meat. I only had 1 metre, and I did want to lengthen it, and that's been impossible. There was absolutely no room to lengthen it at all. So I'm now still just trying to work out how I'm going to hem it. Because what I'll do is I'll put a little video in a little while of what I did with the muslin, sort of showing you the muslin and where it finishes and what my thoughts are. I went out yesterday, mainly reason number one was to fetch from the gentleman who was been servicing my overlocker. He'd actually finished it. So we went to pick that up yesterday morning. Apparently the timing was way off, and he's made some adjustment to the lower looper, and the top looper had a bit of a rough burr on the back, he said, and he's sharpened the blades. I did have some spare blades. I was going to take them with me, but he said, well, they can be sharpened 2 or 3 times before changing them. So I've got the blades in reserve still. Haven't tested it yet, but he says he's tested it, and the scraps of fabric that were in there looked fine. He said he'd left them in there of different types of fabrics that he'd tested. So I'm ready to thread it up, because what I'm going to do is neaten the edges of the Donny Shirt before I sew it on the sewing machine. So I've been, as I said, thinking about the hem, and after we'd picked the overlocker up, we wanted to pick up some things from Meadowhall, which is a big shopping centre near Sheffield. I hate going, really. It's killed the city centre, but there are certain shops in there, but they're all big chains, the usual offerings. So we went there, and then, but nearby, just up the road from the shopping centre, is a sewing shop, and they sell sewing machines and fabrics, and I needed some thread to match this fabric, and also to see about some bias binding as one of the methods for doing the hem. I did get some satin bias binding. I've sort of pinned it on roughly onto the bottom. I'm not sure. It's fairly lightweight. It's not. I just didn't want the stiff cotton binding, so I'll probably give that a go. I don't know. I don't really want to spoil the hem and then have to take it off. I don't know. I don't know really what to do. I'll just give that. I'll sew that onto one of the scraps, but I haven't got many scraps left. There's very little left, and see how it behaves together. The alternative I thought I might try is overlocking the bottom edge and just turning it up once. That wouldn't be too much to take off, because the original hem is turn up 1 centimetre and another centimetre, and I really don't want to go that far. So maybe just turning it up once might be okay. The other thing I considered was a rolled hem, but I've never done one before, so I will have to do some research. I know I've seen that people do them and they look quite easy, so I'll just have to try and find out what I need to do to get that practiced. as I say, I haven't got much left to practice on, so it might be a little bit of a trial. So what I'll do, I'll just put this next bit of video in now of when I completed the muslin, and I just sort of modelled it a little bit and explained my thoughts on where I'm about to go with it. So I'll just put that in now, come back later. So my Donny muslin is finished in the old sheet. Not too bad, I don't think. I haven't stitched down the sleeve hem, and I've not turned the bottom hem up. This is supposed to go up 2 centimetres, and I really think that would be too much, so I'm yet to decide what to do about that. If I can lengthen it slightly, that won't be a problem, but I'm just worried that I might not have enough to do a bit of a lengthening. The other alternative is I could probably do a hem binding, and just take it up by the amount, just sewing it onto the edge of the binding, bias binding. But overall, I think it's not a bad fit. It's supposed to be boxy. It's supposed to be cropped. And I'm not too bad. I'm quite happy for it to be there. It's not too bad. The neck, I think, is fine. Some people have said that this is a bit low, and they've taken it up a bit, but I don't think that's a problem for me. So that everything's fine. I don't think I need to go down a size. I'd probably not have the room, and might have more difficulty getting it over my head as well. So I think, all in all, this is the size that I shall go for. The other thing I was thinking, if I can lengthen it, I might be able to probably get a different fabric for the inside yoke rather than using the silk on both sides. I've got some fat quarters from like back when we were making masks and things back in the olden days, and I've got a creamy colour, plain creamy colour, but it's cotton. Whether that'll sit right with the silk, I don't know, because it's quite a sturdy silk. So I might do that. I'm probably going to not bother with the pocket. I mean, I haven't done it on here, but I'm probably still not going to bother with the pocket on the full version. But gathered in the back. As I said, being a sheet, it's sort of just hanging down, a bit rigid, but I think that'll be fine, actually. So I'm quite happy with the size, so I'm going to see how I can Tetris the pattern pieces and see what I can get out of my silk, and see if I can figure something out, but certainly some bias round the hem, and leave it at more or less this length, and I think that'll be fine. I'm quite happy with that. So hopefully I can get on with this Donny shirt now this week, and crack on and get that. It should be fairly. I should say should be. Now I've done the muslin, at least I know vaguely where I'm going. There were a couple of little issues when I was doing the muslin, which direction I needed. I just got a bit baffled putting the facing on. Sorted it in the end, but it's not too bad. I just used million pins round the edge. It wasn't a problem. And then I'll be doing the skirt with the linen mix, hopefully. But I've also considered looking again ahead a bit further. There's a challenge on now for March, which is Sew Frugal for 2025. Which has been running a few years, apparently. It's been organised by Sam, who's Frugalissima, and Ruan, the Yorkshire Sew Girl. And they've just launched, it starts today. And how the premise works is that you get a free pattern and then a fabric out of your stash, and you sew the garment up during the month of March, and then you reveal it on the 31st of March on Instagram and tag those two ladies and put the Sew Frugal tag on, hashtag on as well. And I've never taken part in any challenges because they're always released do it on Instagram, and I've had a bit of an issue trying to get on Instagram. I am now on there, past like literally 3 or 4 weeks, I think. I had an account previously and I couldn't make head or tail of Instagram. I think it was when I was doing photography. And then I tried again, I think it was last year, and I still couldn't make head or tail of it, so I cancelled that as well. And then I tried to rejoin, and there was something stopping me, and I think it was the previous joining efforts that sort of put a bit of a stop on it. But since I got a new laptop, I thought the other week, I thought, I'll just try again, and I got on. So I'm following a few people, and a few people are following me now, and I still don't really know. I'm sort of vaguely working it out gradually as to what it's all about. So I've decided to take part in this challenge. And as it happened, the lady I watch, one of the vlogs that I watch, Lifting Pins and Needles, who is run by Karina, she put a video out like literally 2 days ago of a cardigan that was a free pattern. Now, this pattern, I've done this mid-thigh length, but this does also come with a cropped length and a hip length. And I've never been really into cropped things. This is why I don't want this Donny shirt to be too short. But I am thinking, my brain's been thinking along certain lines lately that because I'm long-bodied and short-legged, I mean, I'm 5'5", but I've got a long torso, not too long. I think I'm about an inch longer than some patterns draft for waist length. So I thought, well, I've been making tunics and thinking, why do these just not look right sometimes, with trousers? And I think it's because I'm making the top too long in proportion to my leg length. And I have a picture of when I made my itch to stitch upland trousers, and I took a picture for Facebook, and I tucked my t-shirt into it, and it actually made my legs look longer. Why I've got to 65 years old, and hey ho. So I thought, well, maybe the cropped wouldn't look too bad, and fitted in, and then maybe a wide leg trouser, because I've avoided wide leg trousers as well, because I think my legs are too short for wide leg trousers. And it's just a rut I've been stuck in that as I say, I have made tunics and I do wear them. But I'm not sure that they look right. I don't know. It's just something about them that I'm thinking, am I wearing the right thing here? But anyway, I digress. So I thought about making this cardigan in the crop version, and then Karina came up with this pattern, and it's a free pattern. It's from a company called Seamwork, and I have heard of them, but I've never really looked into them because I have enough patterns. But it was a free cardigan pattern from Seamwork, and it's called the Lisa cardigan. And the difference is that it doesn't have this band or a band round the bottom. There's a facing and just hemmed. And I thought that would be quite nice and simple to do. And she does a bit of a sew along. But whilst I was looking at that pattern, they've got other patterns, other free patterns, and I found a top which actually would have suited this fabric. It needs about 1 metre, and it would have been fine for this silk that I've got for the Donny shirt. And it's called a Hansi top, a woven. It's just a bit of a boxy shape, but it's got bust darts. And I thought, I will do that, I think, for this Sew Frugal challenge. And I've got the fabrics I've got some nice viscose which would work. I don't know if a stiff cotton would work. Probably would. I suppose it depends what sort of fit you want. So I've downloaded the patterns. So they need sending off. Well, I'll send off I'll send them both off for printing next week, because I have mine printed on A0. So I'll send those off to be printed, and then I've got time to do the Donny, do the skirt with the linen, and then before the end of March get this Hansi top finished for the Sew Frugal challenge. But whilst I was looking around for free patterns, somebody mentioned, I think it might have been on Facebook, someone mentioned this Mood Society, SEW, Mood Society shacket, which was a free pattern, and I thought, oh, that's quite nice. So I went on the it's Mood Society Mood Fabrics, although the fabrics are quite pricey, to look for this shacket pattern. And I thought, well, I'm not going to bother because I've got shirt patterns. I've got the Friday Pattern Company Butano shirt, which can be made like a shacket style. So I didn't bother with that, but I discovered they've got a coat pattern, which was very similar to the coat that I made, and that I was trying to find a good pattern to make in my expensive fabric. And I thought, oh, that's quite a nice coat. It's the Blackthorn coat. And I don't quite know what comes with these patterns. If anybody's had the Mood Society patterns and downloaded them and used them and tried them, let me know. But the instructions for making the garments, and I've seen a couple of other things as well. There is a shacket on this shacket, and there's a shirt, a different shirt as well. Free pattern. They've got loads of free patterns on there. I was a little bit baffled because the instructions are actually on the web page, so I don't know if you get any extra instructions with the download or whether you're simply just downloading the pattern. And I actually must check. I don't know what format, whether it's print at home or A0, but I was a little bit baffled to discover that I read through the instructions on the website for this Blackthorn coat. There's literally 5 steps to making this coat. 5. And I read through them and I thought, well, yeah, if you've got a ton of experience, then you could probably cope with that. But even the shirt, well, the shacket, has 27 steps, as opposed to the coat, which is lined, has 5 steps. So I'm going to look into that further, but because I was wondering whether to go have a look at this coat and see if that would be suitable for my expensive coat fabric, which I'm not tackling just yet, but anyway, that might be next year now. So that was just a little bit of a strange situation, but anyway, so I think I might close for now and get these videos uploaded and see if I can get them out. I've obviously missed Friday sews this week. I was so shattered yesterday after our trips out. I just wasn't in the mood really for I tried it and then I thought, no, I just feel absolutely shattered. So I'm going to obviously give Friday sews a miss this week. So I think that's all I'm going to be telling you this week. I hope that's been interesting. If you are a subscriber, I've had some more new subscribers this week, so thank you very much for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, if you would consider doing so, it does help the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Please do so. Hit that subscribe button and then you'll get notified when I release new videos. And thank you also again to everybody who's previously liked and commented on my previous videos. So I hope everyone has a lovely weekend and gets some nice sewing done. And it's been nice talking to you, and I'll see you again soon. So bye.